It's like, maybe. Hello, everyone. We are so excited to be here. Thank you for spending your lunch hour with us. Those of you that are here, if you could help us do a little sound check and just let us know, can you hear us okay? If everything on your end is okay, because we don't know. And so if one of you would chat, that our sound's okay, our screen is okay, that would be wonderful. Thank you for helping us because we are on the same computer today. So when we've done this before, we've been in different places so we could check it out. So go ahead.
Today we're together. Thank you so much, Tisha.
Thank you. Sounds great. Thank you, Michelle. All good. We appreciate you guys so much. It's kind of a mystery over here. We don't know what's going on the other side, but we're so excited that you're here. Thank you for spending your lunch hour with us and tuning in. We are Cassie and Jennifer.
Hello.
Of Beyond Supervision. And we are so thrilled to start this series, to tell you more about it, and give a little rundown of what's going on today. But first, because this is the Embodied Way, I invite you to begin embodying. So I invite you to start feeling your chair, to start feeling your breath, to start noticing, to really allow yourself or give yourself the permission to put your phone down, to step away from distraction, and allow yourself to fully be here with us for this time. So as we all breathe together and join our hearts together, I'm going to talk a little bit about what this series is. We are going to talk about what the series is, why we're doing it, why it's important right now. And then we're going to offer you guys an experiential practice. Jen's going to lead us through as the first step in this toolbox that we're really helping and supporting you to create. So let's begin this dialogue.
Yes.
So what is this series? What is it, Jen?
So this series is something Cassie and I have been wanting to do for a really long time, this offering. It's what we'll be doing is for each month, at the first Tuesday of the month at noon, we will be together, maybe on our devices or maybe in person together, offering this webinar in which we're going to be offering embodiment practices that you can use in your daily life for yourself to support your own embodiment and hopefully bring some ease, a great bit of greater comfort for you in your body and mind. And so we'll be doing this monthly. It will be free, and we hope that you can continue to join us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Cassie, why are we doing this series?
Why are we doing this series? So much of the world right now is a lot. It's a lot for those of us that are practitioners, caregivers, souls of service. And these are like our normal everyday lives. Like we live the embodied way. Like it is how we show up to soothe our own nervous systems, to regulate, and we want to gift that. We want to teach it. We want to support all of you in really building a new foundation inside that you can care for yourself, because we spend so much time, caring for others. And sometimes we don't even know. I know often with my clients, it's like, we don't even know where to start,
Mm-hmm.
And we've kind of spent a lot of time like pulling from all these different kind of genres, let's say, and bringing things together that make the most sense to us, things that we use the most, things we teach the most, to really help, you guys build a solid foundation, things that you can really use, that are really available, not just like a thought or an excerpt from a book that we might come back to, but something that we want you to know in your cells, in your nervous system, in your body. So
practices then you can return to throughout your day, throughout the month, between our times together, so that you can just really practice what is it like to be embodied in these ways. Yeah.
And so this is a big question. Why is it important right now?
Yeah. Wow. It is a big question. I think all of us are bombarded with so much information. Social media, the news, there's so many channels of information for how to do things and how to try things out, and what's going on in our community, what's going on in other communities. And it's a lot for our nervous systems right now. It's a lot for our minds. It's a lot for our bodies to process. And Cassie and I wanted a way that we could share this with you that would simplify some information, because our bodies need simple. They need soothed. They need balance. And we wanted to provide it in a format in which that simplicity can be practiced, integrated, and embodied.
Yeah, we have talked a lot about this for like the last 5 or 6 years, that we feel like it's like this place, this hole, in our, in those of us that really are here as a service, a healing practitioner, however you identify, is that we need our own tools, our own support, our own practices, our own time, really, to connect with ourselves, to listen more deeply to what we need, so that we can essentially become the energetic template for what an embodied person looks like and feels like and resonates like. And like I mentioned before, this is who we are. This is the life that we practice, and it is a practice. We practice it sometimes moment to moment, Yeah. And so I remember when we were talking about this earlier, you had talked about some different metaphors around that.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think of is, if I wanted to be an incredible swimmer, I wouldn't jump right into the tidal wave pool to learn my strokes. It's not when the waves are crashing all around us that we want to figure out, okay, what's the timing for breathing? What's the timing for when do I put my arm forward? And no. Instead, we want to get into the smooth, cool, calm waters. And we want to give ourselves room to practice. And we show up and we practice over and over the strokes, the timing, entering the water, how we stand before we even enter the water. And so these are tools that we are going to be offering where we start at the beginning, at the very beginning, where it's simple and easy to begin approaching, so that as you practice these tools for yourself and in your daily life, you don't feel like you have to jump right into the tidal pool, but you have a practice in your toolbox that you can bring to whatever waters you're in, to practice it in the moment.
Yeah, I love when using the word toolbox, because often, it's like we're reaching for something and we don't know what to reach for. And then we go searching for what can we do to heal this. And then it's just like overstimulation to overstimulation, instead of really understanding that while some of this sometimes may be too simple or feel too simple, it doesn't matter if we've been doing this for over a decade. Some of these practices they're so rooted in our systems, and we still come back to them. It's like the simple, I always say, is the quantum. The simple is the way, because that's what our body understands. It understands the slowness, the breath, the really moving into which most of us have spent our entire lives outside of ourselves and outside of our body, essentially. So it takes patience, which brings me to like, what is the essential ingredient of this work and this time that we're going to continue to offer? Is the first thing is really bringing in compassion. And most people might not know, like, what is that? You know, is it a feeling? Is it a state of being? And I very much think of it like a state, like it's like gratitude, you know, it's like opening to this place of really being patient with ourselves and giving ourselves this time, this nourishment, this knowing that we are worth, you know, showing up for ourselves and speaking to ourselves in a way that starts to bridge, like, okay, here I am. I'm in this body. I'm with this breath. And so you might just notice, you know, where in your body do you feel compassion? And can you literally invite more of that in? I use a lot of color when I do compassion work with people or feeling states. And so you might let a color come in. I tend to use light blue. So you might take a few breaths and like bring that light blue into every cell of your body as you just give yourself this moment, this noticing, this place of compassion that you are here with you. And how courageous it is to be here and be willing to learn something new.
As I'm going through that, Cassie, I'm just imagining and talking myself, kind of speaking to myself, saying, I allow myself to be compassionate with me right now.
Mm-hmm.
I invite myself to be compassionate with whatever shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And breathing in that light just feels so soft.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. What a beautiful bridge. Is there something else?
Yeah, I was just going to say, and I'm sharing this with you to share my process. Your process might be a little bit different, but here is my process, and maybe that resonates for you. Because sometimes I think we talk about these things, but we don't know how to do them.
Mm-hmm.
So having someone share, this is how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can try it on. Does that work for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lovely. Which is a beautiful bridge to Jennifer offering the practice today and really speaking about it for a moment and then taking us through it.
Yeah. And I think before we do that, Cassie, I want to speak to something really quickly about compassion. Because when we first begin doing these practices, if we haven't done them before, it can feel really awkward and strange. Like, what am I even doing? What is happening? What is supposed to be happening right now?
Right.
There is no supposed to. Really, we're opening a door where we can begin to be with ourselves in maybe a new way. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to say that about compassion. It allows that door to open where maybe we bump up against judgment. Mm-hmm. Oh, I should be more relaxed. Mm-hmm. I should be doing this differently.
I should be able to take deeper breaths than I am, or be able to settle differently.
Yeah. Compassion says, oh, this is how I'm breathing. Mm-hmm. This is how I'm breathing.
Yeah, so much acceptance in that.
Mm-hmm. 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 We can have shame come up or embarrassment. For some of us, it's our bodies have not really been a part of the conversation at all.
At all.
How many of us grew up in families where they said, what are you noticing about your body? How is your body feeling about this? I don't think many of us grew up with that kind of language or permission. And so we can come up with embarrassment, shame, guilt, fear around even being with this body, this experience. So compassion is the essential first ingredient that we invite you just to let yourself be with. Allow it to infuse you. So before we go into that, I just wanted to bring that in.
And just to remember, some of us might not even know like what self-compassion is. And so like the little short on that is like really learning to talk to yourself like you would talk to those that you love, like a small child, like you talk to an animal, like you come in with this energy that's like, oh, I'm here. Here I am.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah.
So just to give another aspect of that.
Thank you, Cassie. Yeah. So with that, we're going to sink our toes a little deeper into the embodiment practice, the waters here. And I invite you, yes, to just notice compassion, welcoming it in, letting the energy of self-compassion be right here, a soft color if that feels good. And maybe as you notice that, you can feel a quality inside. Maybe you can breathe a little bit deeper. Maybe you feel softness. And if you don't, that's okay too. That's okay too. Whatever is right here is okay. And so the embodiment practice beyond self-compassion, and that in and of itself really is a huge practice.
Yeah.
And I think as we go through this series, Cassie and I probably will start every practice with that, because it that weaves its way through all of the practices. But this first one is the practice that I wanted to share is something in the somatic world that's called orienting. And that's how the way in which we allow ourselves to become present in this moment. If we think about nature and how nature determines, how am I in this moment? How are things going? If you think about a deer out in the field, munching on grass, it's got its herd of deer around it, just having a nice afternoon snack in the beautiful sun. And all of a sudden it hears, what are those deer going to do? You will see their heads perk up. You'll see the ears come to attention. And they begin looking around. Where is the sound coming from? What's going on around me? Do I need to prepare to alert the other deer we need to head on out? Or am I okay right here? Oh, there's a hawk up in the tree fluttering its wings, just landed on a branch. He's looking around. That's what the sound is. I don't need to worry. I'm okay. He's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. So I can take a deep breath, just as Cassie did. I know I'm okay, and I can continue munching on my grass. This is orienting. This is when we allow ourselves to begin taking in our external and sometimes internal awareness so that we know, oh, I'm okay. Right in this moment, I'm okay. It's okay. And so...
And I can really feel that, that how often do I have to tell myself, like, I'm okay? And I can feel my heart's just like, oh, yeah, I am. I'm okay right here, right now.
Yeah. And you may see Cassie's hand is on her heart. If that feels good for you, I invite you to do that as well. That can feel really soothing. Mm-hmm. And so as we orient, one of the ways that we orient is by feeling our bodies through physical touch, we're opening our senses to what's right here. Mm-hmm. And so perhaps you can feel, if you have your hands on your heart, you can feel the temperature of your hand on your chest and on your heart. Perhaps you can feel both hands holding each other there, if both hands are there. Perhaps you can notice the sounds, my voice, the sounds in your environment. Here we've got some fluorescent lights, so we can hear the fluorescent light sound. Maybe you have sounds going on outside your room. If you've got your windows open, it's supposed to be a beautiful day out. Maybe you have outside sounds. Maybe you can feel yourself in your chair. Cassie's doing a nice little rocking motion. Maybe she can feel her sits bones as she's moving from side to side. And as you notice your chair, if you're doing a gentle rocking, just letting your awareness tune inwards for a moment. How is that for you? And not lingering too long inside, you can bring your awareness out again. Take a moment just to look around your space. Let your eyes just wander wherever they want to go. Maybe there's an object or a color or a texture that your eyes just want to explore, and take a moment to just explore that in your environment. We're orienting out. And if that feels okay, you can linger there. If that doesn't feel okay, you can orient back in. Or if it feels like I just want to practice orienting in, what do I notice as I allow my awareness to turn inwards? I feel my breath. If your mind has thoughts going through it, I invite you just to let there be space for those thoughts. Don't worry about changing them, just noticing, oh, the mind is thinking, it's doing its thing. I'm breathing. I'm sitting here in my chair. Just take a moment to notice. Orienting inside. And now we're going to orient out again. I invite you just to let your feet, you can move your toes, feel the surface beneath your feet. We've got a carpet here, a nice carpet that we can rub our toes into, we can press our feet into. Maybe you've got your shoes. Maybe you can notice let your hands rub your pants or a soft material around you. Let yourself have a physical sense of orienting. Yeah, I'm wearing some jeans, the material just kind of touching that. Cassie's got a velvet throw on that's just a lovely shawl. So just letting yourself orient through touch. How is that? Just take a moment to notice. I'm noticing as I touch my pants, I'm just kind of doing some gentle rubbing. There's also an auditory element to that. I can hear the sound as well. Yeah, yeah. And so that's an external orientation. Let's do one more. Let's just tune our awareness inside and see, how am I now? That I've just given myself a few moments, just a few moments, to notice my surroundings, and now to turn inwards. How am I now? What's right here for you? If by chance you've created a little bit of space for yourself, maybe a little bit, maybe you notice things are a little more quiet, maybe not, but if you have noticed things just feel a little more settled, a little more quiet, just taking a few moments to do this, I invite you to continue just practicing through taking this energy with you into the rest of your day, continuing to tune in, let yourself notice, what's really around me? What's really around me? If you're someone whose energy system kind of runs on high and you're just go, go, go all the time, let yourself take a walk, maybe 5 minutes just around the block. Look at the colors, listen to the sounds. Put your hands in the grass, around the pavement or the earth. Take a moment just to notice and then tune inwards. How is that for me? Go back to noticing and just play. Just play. What do you notice when you do that? How is it for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So beautiful. It makes me think of, just how in childhood when we would play outside, how we always would want to touch everything and just be in connection with everything. Mm-hmm. And then it's sort of like we just stopped doing that a lot of the time. And how it's those just senses, like getting our senses re-involved can help us so much in just orienting to present moment, present time. And really all healing happens in present time. So anytime that we can bring ourselves back to ourselves, instead of being in the distraction or the fragmentation that most of us spend a lot of time in, we are allowing ourselves to move into a resourced state. So, anything else that feels important?
And I think what also happens in this resource state, Cassie, is we're giving ourselves a little space in which we can detach from that judgment, from all of those things, that bringing in just a little bit of ability to witness what's going on so that we're not so reactive.
Really becoming the observer and the experiencer.
Both at the same time.
At the same time.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this beginning practice.
Yes.
For our first Embodied Way series. We're so glad that you were here, that you're with us, and we look forward to continuing to serve you.
Yeah, we will send you guys, a link to when we'll do this again, and hopefully you can mark it on your calendar and be part of this, because we are so excited to do it and to really help you guys in any way that we can. So we hope you have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day, and we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.